Ronda Rousey is calling out the UFC and Dana White over fighter pay, sparking major backlash from fellow fighters. Plus, Matt Brown weighs in on Rousey's sincerity. Jorge Masvidal defends Jon Jones' massive pay demand, and Alex Pereira reveals a huge contract detail ahead of his White House fight. You do not want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell.
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Ronda Rousey is facing serious heat from her fellow UFC fighters after her explosive comments targeting the promotion and its president, Dana White, over fighter pay. During a recent press conference, Rousey declared that the UFC is no longer the premier place to earn a fair living in combat sports, claiming many top athletes are leaving for better compensation elsewhere. She argued that, with the UFC recently valued at $7.7 billion, there's no excuse for fighters at the ground level to struggle financially and not receive a living wage, let alone compensation comparable to other major sports. Rousey also suggested that Dana White's authority has been diminished since the UFC's acquisition, stating he's no longer the sole decision-maker. This bold stance has drawn sharp reactions from within the UFC community. Fighters like Sean O'Malley questioned the athletes' grievances, asking who they would be without the UFC's platform, while Jorge Masvidal directly criticized Rousey's comments, pointing out that Dana White was instrumental in her rise to stardom. Fans are debating whether Rousey's criticisms stem from a genuine concern for fighter welfare or a personal grievance. The discussion highlights a growing tension between athletes and the promotion regarding financial compensation and recognition. But is Ronda Rousey's criticism all it seems? We're diving deep into the controversy. Next up, we get Matt Brown's take on her sincerity. Matt Brown is defending Ronda Rousey's recent criticisms of the UFC, but he's also questioning the sincerity behind her words, suggesting she often adopts a victim mentality. Rousey's return to the spotlight and her subsequent sharp critiques of the UFC's fighter pay and treatment have surprised many, especially given her past close relationship with the organization. She revealed that she initially approached the UFC about fighting Gina Carano, but negotiations stalled, leading her to partner with Jake Paul's MVP instead. Since then, Rousey has been vocal about the perceived decline in fighter compensation and the impact of the UFC's new ownership under TKO Group Holdings. Brown acknowledged that Rousey has valid points, particularly regarding the shift away from pay-per-view models that were once a significant income source for top stars. He understands her frustration, especially if the UFC didn't offer a deal that met her expectations for the Carano fight. However, he believes Rousey's primary motivation might be personal dissatisfaction rather than a broad effort to reform the sport for all fighters. I think her real intentions are a pity party thing, and she does that a lot, Brown stated, adding that she plays the victim role frequently. He suggested that if the UFC had offered her a lucrative deal, she might not be voicing these concerns. The debate rages on whether Rousey is a true advocate for fighters or simply voicing her own issues. From fighter pay disputes to demands for massive payouts, the UFC landscape is buzzing. Coming up, we've got Jorge Masvidal on Jon Jones' staggering demands. Jorge Masvidal is weighing in on Jon Jones' reported massive pay demand for his UFC return, arguing that if the greatest fighter of all time isn't compensated properly, who is? Jon Jones has reportedly asked for a staggering sum for a potential comeback fight, with discussions swirling around bouts against Tom Aspinall or Alex Pereira. This comes after UFC CEO Dana White suggested Jones could be considered retired and wasn't a consideration for the recent White House card. Jones responded by requesting his release from the UFC. Masvidal, speaking on his YouTube channel, acknowledged the complexities of Jones' past fight cancellations, but firmly believes that if Jones is seeking substantial pay, he deserves it. If the best fighter that ever lived ain't getting paid what he deserves, who is? Masvidal questioned, emphasizing Jones' status as one of the greatest to ever compete. He urged the UFC to find a suitable, high-profile opponent for Jones, and ensure he receives a paycheck commensurate with his legacy before potentially retiring. Fans are divided, with some agreeing with Masvidal and Jones that legacy fighters deserve top dollar, while others side with the UFC's business perspective, citing reliability and marketability. Speaking of big contracts and future fights, we're not done yet. Get ready for a major contract revelation from Alex Pereira next. Alex Pereira is set to face Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight title at UFC Freedom 250. But he's also dropped a bombshell revelation about his new UFC contract ahead of the highly anticipated White House event. Pereira has the chance to make history by becoming the first fighter to hold titles in 3 different weight classes in the UFC. While he was initially linked to a super fight with a returning Jon Jones, that bout didn't materialize, leading to the interim title clash with Gane. However, Pereira remains optimistic about facing Jones in the future. He revealed that he has signed a new 8-fight contract with the UFC and expressed immense satisfaction with the terms. "I'm actually really happy with my new contract," Pereira stated through an interpreter, thanking Mick Maynard, Hunter Campbell, and Dana White. He emphasized his trust in the UFC's handling of his career, stating, "The way they gave me this last contract was so good that I let it up to them to do whatever they want." Pereira also confirmed that while he wanted the Jones fight, he believes it will still happen after his bout with Gane, as Jones is unlikely to be released by the UFC anytime soon. This contract news has fans buzzing about Pereira's future and the potential for a historic showdown with Jon Jones. And that's just the tip of the iceberg for fight news. Stick around for our rapid-fire recap and all the ways you can stay connected with us. That's all the breaking news for today. Ronda Rousey is facing backlash for her UFC pay comments, Matt Brown is questioning her motives, Jorge Masvidal is backing Jon Jones' massive pay demands, and Alex Pereira has signed a huge new UFC contract. Don't miss another update, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all our socials so you never miss a moment. We'll see you next time.